Well, hey everybody. I'm sitting in the cab of my truck at my in-laws' place, and I've got my beehive over to my right, and it's the last one I got. It's a beautiful day, 65 Fahrenheit, 18-ish Celsius. The wind's really blowing today, so I'm going to record the intro, and so in case the wind noise is too much and I have to go over some basic things I want to do today. I brought some sugar, some water, and if I can use that in the frame feeder, we got some favorable weather for a while. I brought a quilt box with some wood shavings, thanks to my niece Isabel for bringing those over, and I'm going to use that quilt box method. I brought some oxalic acid dribble. I'll use that, and then I'll put the insulation over the top. I'll show you a picture of this all as I go, again, just in case the wind noise is too much, kind of give you an idea what I'm going to do. Hopefully the microphone being inside the bee suit will remove a lot of the wind, but we'll see what we get. So we're at the colony now, and we smoked them a little bit. They're clear up into the top. This is an impressive colony. Yeah, they're all the way into the top box. I'll show you some things once there's some things to see. I noticed as I was walking up and just checking in earlier, they're still bringing in pollen. Appreciate this day being warm enough to open up and look and do some things, because I haven't been in here in a while due to life schedules and things and weather. Right, if I had the time, the weather wasn't acceptable, and if the weather was good, I was busy doing other things. So this is pretty heavy. Not drastically heavy, but indication of honey being in there. So you probably can't see off to my left. I didn't know, but my father-in-law has taken that old truck. Okay, so this box, the white, this is the deep. And I gave them this box when the colony beside it failed to use it. They didn't do anything in here that I can see. I'll show you. I suppose I could show you in this way. So this was a box a failed colony beside them had to use, and you need to see that there's just not a lot going on there, which is okay. I put this on there in case they could use it, but I think coming into winter, this will be a detriment more than an assistance to them. Just again, there's this one may be a little bit more drawn, but this would become an obstacle, and it would be a desert. They do have a little bit of nectar. So I think what I would do, just in the short term, when I put this all back together, believe that I'll put the white box over top of the yellow box, because the yellow's got some food at least. But for now, oh goodness. For now, we'll pull it off because the brown deep, doggone, has, I wonder if I'm pulling frames with me. Yeah, that's the trouble. There's your trouble. The brown deep has a feeder. You see there, the The spacing must have been bad or something. So they went and burred it all up. Okay, so what I'll do is I brought a bucket and I brought some water, and I'll pour this ½ gallon of water in. Okay, so that is about 4 pounds. And if I want to do 2 to 1, 4 pounds of water, 8 pounds of white sugar. So there's 4 pounds of white sugar. And then since it's this close to winter, let's do 2 to 1, which would be 8 pounds of sugar to 4 pounds of water. Not building a watch, right? So I checked the 10-day. We've still got enough warm days where this will be useful. So if it's not going to be warm in your neighborhood, be careful feeding liquid, because they won't be able to get to it or use it. We've got some days where it's going to be 60 F, 15 Celsius, which is good. We've got most of the nights coming up are above freezing. And so this sugar water will be useful to them. So I did see them bringing in pollen, but we are after the growing season, so there's no reasonable expectation of nectar to come in. All right, the yellow jackets are flying around. Okay, so now got to do a little bit of a dance to get the yellow box. And we'll put the yellow box back up. Okay, that tells me this bird comb is in the way. I had a really hard time getting my smoker lit today because it was so windy. It was really a challenge to get it lit. But then once I got it lit, I had to light the paper inside the cab of my truck, which is probably not really safe. I had to light the paper inside of my truck and then take it to the smoker. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. This is really beautiful comb, but just like a beautiful flower that's in your way, right? What's a weed? A weed is a plant that's blooming or growing somewhere you don't want it. This is burr comb because it's in my way. Try not to cut your fingers while you're cutting off your burr comb. So keep your fingers out of the way. We'll just get the worst of it. I collect this burr comb, and when I remember or when I get enough, I melt it, and it's good for all sorts of things. A lot of times I'll just use it to wax the surface of my tools, my shop tools. So sometimes I won't even melt it down. For that, I'll just do it with it. Okay, I think that should be good. Killed one. All right, That should be good. Oh, I'm glad I walked around the back here because I forgot something I was going to do. I suppose this isn't absolutely necessary, but I did bring a jar of oxalic acid dribble. And you're only supposed to do 50 milliliters per colony. Okay, so while I'm in here, I don't know when I'll be in here again. I might as well do this. And I'll just do the best I can. There are really a lot of bees in here still, which is cool. And then we'll just blow the rest of it out in here. Okay. All right, now that I got that done, I got the burr scraped off. So now I can put the yellow box on. Okay. Now we'll put the white box on. We're getting tall again, y'all. Okay. Now that I got that part done, I can do the next thing. I wonder if this has any further to go. It does. Okay. All right, so now this is a quilt box. So it's just a 3-chambered box, and there's number 8 wire on the 2 outer chambers and number 2 wire on the inside chamber. We put it on the colony top. We take a newspaper piece. Pretty windy. Okay. So we've got the newspaper on the inside chamber, and I brought one more bag of sugar. People might look at you funny at the Dollar General, but it's baking season too, and it's okay if they look at me funny. It don't bother me. But it's for the bees. I'm not going to just sit here and pound these 12 pounds of sugar I bought at once. So let's see if I can give you a different angle. Okay, that's a little better, huh? Okay, so here I got the newspaper is lining the middle chamber. You just take your sugar, your dry sugar, and pour it into that chamber. And through no intelligent design of my own, the middle chamber holds about 4 pounds. And there is an entrance on the front that's got a vermin blocker on it for pests. Okay, so now, said in the intro, my niece brought over she raises rabbits, and she brought over these wood chips, which is appreciated, so I didn't have to go buy wood chips just for this. But you put them in here on the outer chambers. The outer 2 chambers have a vent hole to the outside, or holes actually, to the outside, which will allow any moisture that comes through the chips to dissipate. And also the chips will provide an insulation level. So there's one side. Now we do the same thing on the other side. And don't sweat it if you get chips in your sugar. It's not a big deal. All right. Well, I think we got it. I think we got her. Okay, so now I'm going to save these. All right, so that's all that I'm going to do in the colony as far as with the bees. One couple more steps I'll take you through real quick. Is the inner cover goes back on, and just for me, I don't know if it matters, but I'll put the notch on the downside so they can get out of it if they'd like. All right, now that finishes that. And then get the last couple bees out of the outer cover. Excuse me. All right. So now I'll put the ratchet strap back on for winter, because we get some pretty significant winds, and we're actually forecast to get some pretty significant winds here later. But the last thing I'll do before I go is I have this piece of insulation foam board. This goes on the top of the outer cover, and it just provides another layer of insulation over the top of the colony. So that was the last step that I'll do before I leave. After I trip over everything that I just kind of cast around, I'll take the entrance and I'll put a mouse guard. This is a homemade mouse guard. It's number 2 wire, just bent so that it fits in the opening. And I'll put that in there, and I'll just keep mice from making a residence. So that was preparing the colony for winter. Had a lot of things that we got done today. We shuffled some of the boxes around. We scraped the burr comb that was in the way. We did oxalic acid dribble. We fed them sugar water. We put a quilt box on with dry sugar and wood chips. We're going to put the insulated top over the colony, and we're going to put the mouse guard in. So good luck this winter to you. Hope this was useful. If it was, give me a share, like, or thumbs up. Thank you for watching.